Welcome to Unapologetically Rich, the show for high-achieving women who refuse to settle. I've helped over 51 women become millionaires and multimillionaires. You're next. I'm here to unlock the next level of wealth, freedom, fulfillment, and feminine power. So hit the follow button, share this with every woman who needs to hear it, and get ready, because every week we're diving deep and rising higher. This is the Unapologetically Rich Show. Are you ready? Let's get to it. Welcome back to the Unapologetically Rich Show. I'm your host, Shamina Taylor. And today we're going to talk about the masculine and feminine energy because it's a really hot topic and it's really important. And I believe that what I mastered with my feminine energy is the reason why I went from hustling and working really hard in overdrive and nearing wanting to quit and throw away the whole business to being able to be open to new creative ideas, leaving law, and then opening up to running a business that I absolutely love and being in the receivership of millions of dollars. This was a game changer for me, why I talk about it so much. And it's not so much masculine versus feminine. There's a reason why women are in their masculine energy. However, listen to this episode and it's really going to unlock a few things for you. It's going to make you go, aha, now I get it. Maybe I understand. And for those of you that have not purchased a ticket yet to get in the room in Chicago at our Wealth Consciousness event experience, October 2nd and 3rd, get in there. We've got only 2 VIP tickets left. My team was able to get us a bigger table, but we only got 2. And once it sold out, it sold out. In this room, you're going to learn about wealth consciousness, but also factors that prevent us from accessing wealth consciousness, higher levels of consciousness, higher levels of upgrade. And one of them being where we are stuck in our masculine energy because we're not in the receivership of the feminine. Also, how to transform ourselves into the higher levels of wealth consciousness, how to open up more wealth, how to really regulate our nervous system. We're going to really talk about it. We're going to actually do nervous system regulation in the room that day. We're going to have a whole day about really resetting you and expanding you into the identity, because when you do that, that's when you have the quantum leaps. That's when the cash comes in. So a full day of that and a full day of business acumen, where you're going to basically what I would do for a VIP client that would be paying $25,000 to $100,000 to work with me for one day. You're literally going to get on this day in a group setting where you're going to understand exactly what offers to create, premium offers, how to market, how to add different revenue streams into your business, how to create passive income. You're actually going to get a funnel leaving the event. You're going to put out an offer. You're going to get 30 to 60 days worth of content for social media, because you're going to be creating it in the room. I'm going to show you how to do this very quickly. For those of you, especially with brick and mortar businesses or those that are online that really want to blow up and build that personal brand, you're going to get all the information that you need to get you started to really skyrocket yourself to that next level. And I feel like this is something I've mastered really well. Wanting to see you in the room. Okay, go get the ticket. Now back to what we're talking about. We as women are meant to be in our feminine. And if you are a new listener, maybe you need to scroll back to listen to some previous episodes on this topic. Now, this is where it becomes interesting, because women will come up to me and say, how do I become more feminine? And if you have read my book, Unlocking the Quantum Woman, I talk about this in there, but they'll be like, how do I become more feminine? This is a diabolical thing, because you're asking me how to fix a feminine issue with masculine energy. You cannot fix a feminine issue with masculine energy. And let me break it down to you. I was having a discussion today with a friend of mine, and he's a male, right? He's a man. And he was talking to me about when he got divorced. He said it really threw him off his rocker. It was a really hard thing. And he was trying to fix the pain that he was going through. He was trying to fix it, the emotions that he was experiencing. He said, it was really overloaded. It was really hard for him. But what he quickly realized is that he couldn't fix that emotional issue with the other ways that he's fixed things in his life. And I said, that's it. You figured it out. You cannot go and tend to an emotional issue with masculine energy. He got it. He understood it. What a lot of women, when they come to me, they're like, well, how do I become more feminine? What do I need to do? So it's not a matter of what you're doing. It's the experience and what you're accessing and how you're relating and how you're connecting to your own self, but also the frequency of the feminine. Most women really are disconnected from their feminine energy. They are not completely rooted into the thing that I believe is your superpower, the thing that is accessing the more for you. And so when I say a woman's inner masculine and she's doing all the tasks and she's busy, she's actioning, she's overperforming, she's getting things done, she's waking up at 5 a.m., she's checking off her list, she is doing the mostest action taker. I'm not telling you not to take action, but I'm telling you, if you start your day out with a system, a nervous system that's dysregulated, but it'll appear regulated to you, to jumpstart the day and go right into it without calming your system and re-regulating it to go, it's going to think that's normal until it doesn't. There's going to get a point for every woman where who's operating this energy, she's going to hit a wall and she's going to be like, I can't do this anymore. This is too much. And then she's going to go, well, how do I fix this? How do I fix the exhaustion? How do I fix that I'm at capacity? How do I fix it? I can't stuff 20 more things in the day, without what I'm already doing. How do I fix this? How do I fix it? And it'll be like, well, you cannot fix it by doing more. You cannot fix it by adding one more thing on your plate. You cannot fix it by checking off another to-do. You cannot fix it this way. So my mornings are easy. They're easy mornings. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this, and I'm not the way I used to be. And I'm not saying this is right or wrong. It's just what I do. Waking up slower, when my body is done sleeping, it wakes up. I don't need 12 hours of sleep, so my body will take what it needs. And sleep is really important, and it's something I have to really work on, getting myself back into bed earlier so that my nervous system can decompress from the day, I can unwind, and then my body goes into the circadian system so that it can sleep. It's hard for someone like me whose brain is always on, so it's definitely something I have to work on, and getting into that state of relaxation. So when I wake up without having to go perform in the morning, do right away, my nervous system gets to get re-regulated into a new state of calmness. Just because you're doing something over and over again and you think that's regulation, it's just because that's your body being trained for that dysregulation, because a lot of women are trained for suffering. They're trained to work hard. They're trained to, if you didn't earn it, you can't have it. They're trained to, the harder I work, the more results I'll get. But I'm telling you, there is going to be a wall that you eventually hit where you're at capacity and you're like, well, how do I do this? Right? So I wake up easy. I start my day with journaling. I start my day with breath work. I start my day with calmness. I start with my day with biohacking my body, getting into my red light therapy bed, getting into my vibrational plate, putting my little eye masks on, doing, using my laser on my face, teeth whitening, whatever it is, reading a book that's going to expand me, setting my intentions for the day, my gratitude. All of those things are super important to me because it helps me now regulate my nervous system, that this is what it feels like to be in the stillness, to be in the present moment, to be in that feminine. So I can tap in and I can get and hear the creativity that comes through. I can listen to the things I cannot see that aren't on my to-do task, but it also connects me divinely with what I came here to do, my higher purpose, the thing that I agreed to come in this lifetime. But I'm so aligned because now my frequency is at the highest place it can be in it, and my nervous system is not into like a woo shock state. Like, I gotta go, I'm behind schedule, I've got to get all these things done. And I get it if you've got little kids and maybe that's the only time you can work out and do whatever, but you don't have to wake up in that urgency. There is a way of calmness first and then going into the action. So being is a really important place of, how do I calm this? How do I receive? How do I allow myself to not worry? How do I trust? Because this is what the feminine is: trusting, knowing, allowing. It's faith. It's like, I know everything's going to work out. I don't have to make things work. They're going to work out anyway. Whatever comes my way, I'm going to be able to process it, feeling into a situation as opposed to forcing a situation, allowing, becoming magnetizing, letting the universe, God, whoever you align with, open opportunities for you without you having to make it work. It is such a beautiful frequency to be in. But if you start your day and your action into like immediate thrusting into the do or whatever you are, if you stay in that energy throughout the entire day without breaks to regulate into a calmness, you're missing out on the most important things in life. So when women come to me and say, well, how do I fix this, feminine issue in my masculine, it doesn't work. And women think if they take bubble baths and they're like getting their nails done or they're getting massages, that is the feminine energy. It is a forced energy to be in. The feminine is like It first starts within, and it does take some inner work to get there. It does take us letting go of old belief systems. It does take us reprogramming ourselves and rewiring ourselves so that we can be out of the fight or flight. Because a lot of women who are in the dysregulated state, which they think it's regulated because it's their known, so they think that's normal. So they don't even know if something's a problem until they hit an exhaustion wall. They're gaining weight, they're tired, they can't get everything done, they're overwhelmed, they're at capacity. They're trying to make more money, trying to do more, add more on the plate, and they're just burnt out, but they don't even call it burnout because they're in survival and they think it's normal. One day you'll come to a place and you'll be like, I can't do this anymore. This is just too much. And they're time blocking like it's nobody's business. And it's still like, okay, well, what else? What else? What else? What else? And then they'll hit these goals in their check off boxes. And then they're like, that was good. What's next? Nothing will ever feel satiated because there'll be no fulfillment. I speak from experience. They're like, wow, how's she speaking to me? Because I was you. And I was there. And now I'm living in the messiness, the chaos. I have a saying, messy makes me millions, being in a place where there is clarity in the chaos. There's a beauty of it. When you are in that masculine energy all the time, which I'm telling you, it comes from a dysregulated state, being in there because you're creating your own version of masculine energy, which is not always a safe place to be, but it's normal to you because you've been doing it over and over again. You actually create income ceilings. You create all kinds of performance success ceilings inside of your business and your life. While you might be a hustler and a high performer, you'll have these internal ceilings right here, and you won't even realize that you have them because they're like kill switches. They're like, okay, don't go too big, don't get too powerful, don't be fully seen. Oh, we can't take on more because if we do, we might collapse. What's happening right here? Because the infrastructure is not built on the feminine frequency. It's built on, let me prove to the world, show everybody success, success, success. Look at all my success. Look at all my degrees. Look at all the things that I've done. And they still do not get you to that place where you know that you can fly, where you trust, where your intuition is 100,000% whatever the director and the GPS for what you're doing, because you're going to be overthinking, overdoing, overanalyzing every single step because you're not even tapping into the thing that makes you who you are. Get what I'm saying? Sometimes I give women things to do, like, hey, this Sunday, take an entire day off. I want you to Netflix and chill. You know how many times I've told it to a client and then she comes back to me, I feel lazy. I can't do this. Feels so unproductive because her nervous system is used to a dysregulated state of having to be busy. That's why I say busy and having a full schedule is a trauma response. Now, taking a whole day off to spend with your family, that's great. But what if you just allowed yourself to do that? Turn off your phones, turn off the work, let your husband or significant other, whoever it is, tend to you while you receive. What if you didn't have to go perform as a mom? What if you just time blocked, because that's what you're doing, the morning for you to sleep in till whenever you want to do what you want to? I get to do this every day, so it doesn't have to be just be on a Sunday morning because that's the way I design my life. I'm the boss. I'm the creator of my reality. There's no way in hell you're going to tell me as an entrepreneur I'm working for myself that I need to get up at 5 a.m. to be successful. I'm telling you right now, if you're making even $100 million a year, $10 million a year, and that's the sacrifice that you have to make, no, thank you. I'm a multiple seven-figure earner and I don't have to wake up at 5 a.m. So, I like the way I live my life. I like that I get to have a Wednesday, which is today, to go see the chiropractor, go do other things, like do my red light therapy, which I do every morning, by the way, but pour into me, create content, do the things that I love, go get a pedicure, manicure if I want to, get a massage, whatever I want to do on a Wednesday, I get to do because that's my day for me. I have so many days like that throughout the week that are for me. Now, I'm going to go when it's ready, but I'm also going to go being first in my feminine frequency, then go take the masculine tasks, go perform them. Here's how this looks like. When you realize that you're doing, and you're still not getting the result that you want, and you think that if you do more, it's going to change something, that's when you know you're hitting a wall. That's when you know you've hit the wall. You're not really tapping into, okay, what really feels next? One of the things that I've taught my clients to do, and I'm going to share with you right now, is this. If you are going to engage in anything in your business, a client, creating content, Whatever it is, maybe you're going to create posts, you're going to write in your book, you're going to create your speech, you're going to go speak, whatever it is you're going to go perform and do in your business. The first thing I want you to do is get realigned with who you are into your emotional state. When you can turn on your emotions and you can bring them to the surface into feeling like, does this feel great? Do I feel aligned? Because anything that you're going to go do is so it can give you a feeling back, right? And whenever you have your emotions on the forefront, this is why, look, if you want to use AI to create content, power to you. But if you use your emotions to create content, you're going to connect more with your audience, with the people that you're working with. You're putting out offers from an emotional state first. People are going to feel that from you when you go make a reel, when you go make a story, when you go speak on TV, when you're on a podcast, whatever it is. If you first get into that state, then go perform. You are bringing your emotions, which is your highest frequency, with you with everything you do. When people are doing things just from a task oriented, just to get it, check it off, you are leaving 90% of what makes that thing go viral or special or significant. And it is such a bigger topic, but I'm telling you, I'll give you an example. Like if I am in a bitter Betty move, let's say, and I am wanting to go make a call out post on Facebook, and I'm just going from a place of not my highest frequency, maybe my like, okay, here's where I want to clap back at something, or just kind of like say like call out post. That's what I call them. I've done them a couple of times. They will bring in the wrong type of people. All of a sudden, the people that I don't really align with on Facebook will be commenting, sharing it. And I'm like, damn, I called in the low frequency people with this. Or it'll be crickets on there because it doesn't have that frequency with it. So when you are making and sometimes sales posts will be like that because we're in our head, we're doing things where it's a very transactional post, right? But when you're doing something from an emotional state first, you're going to bring so much more energy to it. So, trying to solve a feminine issue, which is your emotions, with a masculine behavior is going to be highly unsuccessful. And this is something that I'm going to teach you actionable steps in Chicago when you come here, how to really repair your relationship with the feminine. Because most women do not have a healthy relationship with their feminine, unfortunately. They have closed off, turned off their feminine because you know what? The last time they felt something, they had an emotional response. It hurt them, or it made them feel disempowered, or it made them feel like they didn't have control in their life. It made them feel a certain kind of way that they didn't like, and they don't want to ever feel like that again. So they're going to shut it off. But shutting off that emotional place and not mastering your emotions, you're turning off the thing that actually can take you from wherever you're at now to the next place through quantum leaps. It can increase your wealth. I'm telling you, this is what the number one thing, aside from mastering my emotions, which I include them together, that opened up this type of wealth for me that I could never even imagine. It also changed the way that I parented as a mother, my connection to my children, teaching them about emotional mastery, the type of connections that I've made in the world. My intuitiveness has gone to the next level, psychic abilities, whatever you want to call it, my channeling, the knowingness, how I've been able to like really tap into a strong, strong internal guidance of a faith that I cannot even describe, but it also raises this frequency and vibration to a place that my thoughts actually do create my reality of what I want without resistance. When you're always in that masculine, you're only in your human state. When you're accessing that feminine and you are in the beingness, you are accessing quantum energy. You're accessing this frequency that's going to put jet fuel on any thought that you're creating and put it into that next realm and get you into like a time space reality that you are not experiencing right now. This is when extraordinary things happen, when miracle happens, when doors open that you can't even imagine. When you think of something and all of a sudden it pops up and it just shows up for you. I'm telling you, when you're in this feminine frequency, it is the sexiest frequency you can be in. It's the powerful. Money, power, and sex go hand in hand. And imagine a woman who's always in her masculine. She's in the man energy and she's not tapping into that feminine, which brings her sexy, beautiful feminine energy forward. She's doing things from a whole hustle perspective. It is so hard. It is working way hard, girl. You're working way hard. You are working so hard. Now, this is another way to set this example up. I've had a lot of clients come to me who are making $100,000 a month and they are not keeping it. They have $100,000 a month and they're like, Shamina, I don't know what's going on. Why am I not keeping this? What's happening? Why do I have money leaks? Well, I'll tell you, because you're operating in that masculine frequency. You have not tapped into the feminine to really allow yourself to receive, because there's something in the masculine that masculine shield is protecting an unresolved emotional state inside of you that's affecting your feminine from coming forward, but it's also creating money leaks inside of your business consciously and subconsciously, and you don't even realize it. You cannot hold big money. Your nervous system isn't regulated because that shield is up front trying to protect whatever underneath there that you have not regulated yet, or you have a dysregulated state and you're in a survival state, and that's what you're doing. Neuroscience is very, very important. Let me tell you, having that physiology plus the neuroscience connected together is a game changer. And so I speak to you telling you about the masculine and feminine because you know you're in your masculine, you know you're doing this thing, you know you have the shield, you'll identify with that. But if I talk to you about the physiology of things and how you are in fight or flight, you might be like, I'm not, because you've normalized yourself, working yourself to the bone, filling your cup way, way, way overcommitting yourself, overdoing everything, overperforming. There's something about being a high performer and there's something about being overperformance. And many women do not know the difference between the two. Being able to balance these energies are where you get to that next level that you know you should already be there or could already be there. You bust through income ceilings. This is why I've helped 349 women hit their highest cash months, highest cash weeks, days, whatever it is, because they were before in that survival state thinking it was normal. They come into my world, they start balancing the energies, and yeah, they do start having a lot more sex and whatnot because they're so magnetic to everybody around them. They're not hustling for clients. They're letting go of the clients that are headache clients, attracting in premium clients because they're raising their standards. They're releasing that wall that's the impediment from them feeling everything that they want to, but they're also releasing themselves from being stuck in this like purgatory of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. While women say that their business are successful, they're like, but my bank account isn't actually showing that success, or I'm not living my life to the dreams that I want to. I'm living below and I'm like not buying the things or having the things, experiencing things because I still feel like money's going to run out or go away, or money is running out and going away. So when these clients come work with me and they're making 100,000 or whatever it is a month, and they're saying, hey, we've got money leaks, I know why. I can immediately pinpoint it. And every time I do, within 2, max 3 months, actually even sooner, things start turning around in their business. Because they cannot see, you cannot see the thing that's impeding you when you're in survival. You just won't, because survival won't show it to you. When you're in your feminine, you get this visionary type of energy where you can start seeing things you never did before. Your subconscious is trying to protect you all the time and you don't even realize it because you're in the survival state. So when you come to Chicago, I am going to help you get to that next level in this state. Now, where you are going to tap into this frequency, you got to embody it though. It has to be ingrained in your nervous system, in your energy, so that you go to it. And then, when you come in my Millionaire Club or my Wealthy CEO, this is where you calibrate and you stay, because it's not a one and done, right? You got to keep choosing it. You got to keep reprogramming, because your nervous system will always fall back to that kill switch and go back to what it knows, the dysregulated normal state of being busy and workaholic and working and hustling and barely getting the sleep, or feeling like they're your slave to your schedule. You don't have the capacity. You're missing the football games. You have to pick and choose what you want to do. You're not going on like 5 or 6 with your family. They're having maybe one vacation, even that gets canceled, or you're doing a work trip. That's not the way it goes. All right. I can't wait to see you in Chicago. If you're ready to jump and make a leap into one of our programs, send me a message on Instagram. Would love to connect with you, and stay tuned for another episode. And by the way, if you love this episode, please go share it. And don't forget to leave your girl a review. I should have said that in the beginning. Don't forget to leave me a review. I love the reviews, and I can't wait to see you guys on the next episode of this show. All right. Bye for now.